Uh, Hello everyone, good day. Welcome to another stream. Today we are going to be watching how to draw the head using the Loomis method from David Finch. And yeah, let's get into it. Buy comics on coffee. Head on over to comicsoncoffee.com and type in code David Finch for a 15% discount. This video is a break of how to draw heads using the Loomis method. Andrew Loomis was a very prominent magazine and advertising illustrator, but he's by far and away remembered and best known for his series of instructional art books. His books are an absolute goldmine, and countless illustrators and comic artists have based the foundation of their career on his work. I'm David Finch. I've been a comic book artist for over 5 years. Hello, lovely. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? How's the? I think the weekend is starting, right? How's the preparation for the weekend or the pre-chilling before the weekend? To start drawing the Loomis head, we're going to start at the very beginning and explore the simple shape that we'll be constructing our entire head off of, and that is the sphere. I'm not going to use a template to draw my spheres. What I'm going to do is just lightly sketch. And you can see I've got a mess of lines all over the place, but because I'm going very lightly, this is something that I can lighten down, and I can get a pretty good sphere just on my own without using a template, just by kind of molding it with a pencil like that. Now from here, what we need to do is define an axis. And with Loomis, what he does is he draws a line through the sphere, and it really can be your best friend. You guys don't go to the same school. Who is that? Who's your best friend? At any angle, we're going to choose the angle that he uses in his first example where he really describes this, and he actually uses a nail. And so let's go ahead and do that. And so the nail's going to intersect with my sphere right here, and it's going to come up bottom here. And so I'm going to draw my opposing axis across that this way. Now, if I was to draw through, I would end up with a line along the back, just like this. And I'm going to draw another line in my sphere this way. And so that's going to represent our brow and the front of our face here. This will be our brow, this will be the front of our face. We need one more line, and that is going to be this axis along here. Let's make sure that that is defined well enough to make it clear. Okay, she lives 20 minutes away, so we can't see very often, but today she was here. Oh, that's cool. That's nice. That's nice. You guys were just chilling, yeah? Or did you guys she just visited you at home, or did you guys go anywhere? None of that is perfect. I'm not using a ruler or trying to be incredibly clean with it, because the point is this needs to be something that you can get comfortable sketching over time on your own very, very quickly. So now from here, I'm going to lose my pin, and I'm going to draw this sphere from a bunch of different angles, just drawing the sphere. And so if I was to draw from the front, we'll go a little bit smaller here. So here's the sphere. We're looking directly at the front of it, and so that means I'm going to intersect it this way, and that's going to be this line here, and then this line will be right through the center, just like this. And my pin, if it were there, you would just see the head of it right there. Oh, okay, all right. So like with this technique, let me see if I can go to my pirate archives. Just give me a minute. Go to my pirate archives and check for Andrew Loomis drawing the head and hands. This is the book. I recommend everyone get it. Like if you're just starting out, like with drawing the head. And these are some of the practices that he's talking about. So let me show you. Because I did a video where I talked about like the practices, the important practices you could do for understanding how to draw the head or the human head. And one of the practices is actually I called it the center line practice, where you just like try to understand like a sphere. You draw a sphere and you actually use all these like axis lines to sort of understand where the brow line, the nose line, parts of the body are going to be, and how to like properly
break them down and how they would look in different perspective. So like what I say, like like one rule I always follow as much as possible is that whenever I'm drawing, I try my best to, like, whenever I'm studying a book like this, I try my best to draw as much of the illustrations in the book as possible, because I believe like once you've repeated it multiple times, you actually become better and it becomes second nature to you. Your brain gets used to the complexity of whatever information is on the book. So, for instance, now a book like this, now we're looking at um, all these illustrations. One of the easiest way, because we're artists, we're visual creatures. Well, humans are visual creatures in general, but like one of the easiest ways is to just copy it. So I just copy all these illustrations. I say like the basic shape of a flattened ball is one of the exercise. Another exercise is like to like do this other exercise. And the other one is to understand planes of the head. The other one is to understand the skull, the basic structure of the skull. He does do it here, but he doesn't do the skull in different angles. But this is still helpful, and it's still helpful to like understand how he breaks this down from the front view, the side view, the three-quarter view. It's going to be really helpful whenever you're drawing, but it's not like something that you're just going to get immediately. It's going to take a couple of times. Like I do these practices a couple of times, sometimes just to strengthen my ability.
And this line here is going to be invisible. It's the outside of my sphere. I'm going to draw another sphere. And this time,
We were in town because there was some attractions. I forgot the name in English, like roller coasters. Oh yeah, like amusement park, right? An amusement park.
I'm going to draw my axis down through this way. And so my center line will be here. And then my brow line will be here. Got a little shallow there. And because I'm tilted up, it's going to tilt this axis forward. And you can see it's basically a 90-degree angle. I'm just trying to make that as clearly 90 degrees as I can, just estimating. And so it's going to be just about there. And I'm going to draw my third axis through here. And what I've done here is really just draw the opposite of this. Now, if we're to look at the head from the side, what you really end up with is just the pin sticking out.
One of the coolest things I've seen, like with technology these days, is like on X, for instance, like the fact that you can just easily, like anyone could type in any language, and it will just like be displayed in like the language that you speak. So you don't have to necessarily click the show translation button. So the only option that you have to click is like show original language translation. I think that's actually one of the coolest things I've seen like on social media that people do, where they just like you are able to just understand what someone is saying. I think communication is going to become a lot better in the coming years, because technology like that, where you could just speak to somebody, maybe you could just wear like a glasses, and like maybe in real life you're communicating with someone from another country and this person speaks a different language, and you could just like maybe wear glasses and maybe you could read out what the person is saying, or maybe you could wear like an earpiece. I saw this thing on the Blue Lock manga, where the characters, they come from different countries, but they wear like an earpiece on their ear, like this. Um, they wear an earpiece on their ear, and the earpiece actually translates the language that they're hearing in the football match, and they're able to understand what each other are saying like very fluently. I think it translates it to their natural language. I think that's a very cool piece of technology. It could make anyone, even though like it's really dependent, because like you're strongly dependent on the technology, but I think it's quite helpful, especially if you go to like another country and you want to experience the culture fully. You can just be understanding what they are saying whilst still enjoying the entire environment and culture. Hello, Niman, how you doing? Hello, Mags, how you doing? Hello, Sophia, big up, Sophia. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. How you guys doing? I'm doing well, thank you, Niman. Thank you, I appreciate it. Uh, how's your day going? How's your weekend? Technically, it's the weekend now. ladies and gentlemen, the weekend. Anyways, I'm sad to tell, but I have to shower now. Also trying a new printing with my calls where I form every call by hand, hoping it looks good. Goodbye. Probably I'll pass by later again. Bye. Oh, you meant like a new routine with the hair. All right, all right, all right. So good. Like we also do this like they give new hairstyles every week for students to change to. Although it seems like you guys' own is optional.
just like this. So there's my pin. Instead of drawing a whole other head from the side, that's really what you would get. And so you can draw this in an infinite number of angles, but I think that really covers the basic concept right there. And so now that we have that, we're going to move on to the next basic concept of Loomis covers. We go ahead and draw a sphere. My axis, I'll go just a little bit more shallow this time. Will come through just like this, and I'll have it connect right there. And so let me draw my center line
Hello, Niman. How you doing? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
here, and that's going to be my center line of the face and my brow right there. And I'm going to draw another line through here for the other axis. You should see just a little bit of this connection here under the ball. And now if I draw another line just about here on my sphere and draw it all the way through, I'm going to draw it flat. This is a flat surface. This line here is going to flatten, and so is this. Pulling this point in to just about here. And so let's go ahead and erase the piece that we just cut off. And essentially what we did is we just created a slice. And what I have left over is something just about like this. And we've gone ahead and cut that off. And so we've ended up with a slice. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. It won't be quite as visible because it's around the other side. And that slice there much more closely represents the actual shape of the head instead of a sphere, which is much too round. And so that's also pretty basic conceptual stuff. What we're going to do now is we're going to take what we did and I'll use the same angle from my first example. This is going to be my brow line, my center line, and the next thing that I need to establish is my hairline. And so that's going to be just about here. On the faces directly from the side, it would be just about here. But since we're looking up at it, you see less of the top of the head above it. And so I'm going to take that distance and I'm going to duplicate it here. And then I'm going to duplicate it again here. You can measure it if you really want to be very, very accurate. As a matter of fact, I think I went a little bit long here. And so let's go ahead and erase that. I tend to, at this angle, start to come out just a little bit longer toward the bottom because as things get closer, they get a little larger, and as things get further away, they get smaller. But we're going to keep this as simple as possible and try and keep my distances the same. And so I've got a straight line drawn out. I'm not following the curve down because obviously the face is flat coming off of the sphere. And so the next thing that I want to establish is a line for my cheek along either side of the face. And so I've got a line here and I've got a line here. And you can see that this line automatically comes in and is foreshortened as it rounds around the head. And because you have that sphere line as a reference, it makes it fairly easy to get that established. I'm going to go ahead and connect that down to my chin on both sides. And I'm going to draw my ear connecting
Ooh, this is fun.
from this point here, and that's level with the brow. And the bottom of the ear ends up being level with the nose. Let's make that just a little bit bigger then. And so now my jaw is going to connect from just in front of that point right here. And my mouth is going to be just about halfway. Depending on the person and the face, it can be a little higher, it can be a little lower, but for an idealized face, it's going to be just about halfway. And I'm going to extend back from that, and that's going to give me the back of my jaw. And now I'm just going to connect this up here, and I'm going to draw a line through, and that's going to give me my other side. So we can see just a little bit of the bottom of the jaw there. And so the next thing we need to do is start to establish our features and the planes of the face. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the top of my nose right here. And I'm going to create a shape just like this. And my nose is going to extend
That's
from
a
that. And my
keystone
nose is
area,
outward
by the
from
way.
this line. And I want to make sure that the tip of my nose doesn't go all the way to that line because the base of my nose is going to be just right here. And it's going to fall to the same upward angle of the rest of my face. Now I'm going to go ahead and draw lines from where my brow connects cavities from my eyes. And before we go on, the next thing I want to talk about is my forehead rounds around that ball, but that's really not ideal, and so we need to give that much more of a proper forehead shape. And so I'm going to lift that and flatten that. I'm going to draw a line back from here, back from here. I'm going to bring my cheek out just a little bit and connect this line here, just like this. And my mouth is going to go right here. The center of my eye sockets is also going to define the contours of my mouth. It's going to define the outsides of my mouth on both sides. And so now I want to go ahead and just inside there.
I kind of think like I took my ears too high, so it doesn't align, because ideally it should align with like the ears over here like this. But no problem. We move. And I think I raised the mouth too high. Let's bring it down a bit.
Establish my eyes. And here's another eye. And from the corner of my eye, I'm going to come up at an angle just like this. And this is a very important line because this really defines your eyebrow. And it also defines where your cheek connects right here. And it also is now going to connect up just like this and give us a plane along the side of the head here. We won't see it on this side. I'm going to draw the line from my forehead down just about like that. Define a plane along the cheek here. And I can give my character a hairline by dipping in here just a little bit and creating a ridge all along. And where I've connected here, I'm going to draw a line up through, and that's going to represent the edge of the back of my hair here.
I think it's moving smoothly.
And my neck is going to connect just under the ear on both sides. And so at this point, we've taken a very simple shape and used that to construct our face and then establish the basic planes of the face. But now what I want to do is start to use that construction to draw the face from multiple different angles and keep everything as simple as possible. Instead of drawing an axis at this point, what I want to do is I want to decide where I want my eyes and my brow to be. And I want to tilt my head down just slightly. And so I'm going to draw my line just about
Expand
here.
my brush for that.
I want the center of my face to be just about here. And so that would put my axis just about like this. So there's my starting point. My brow is going to be just about here, just about level with the top where I'm slicing my head. And now my nose is going to be about here. And I want to start going flat. I don't want to follow the contour of the sphere all the way back, obviously. And then that's going to be my chin. I'm going to establish my cheeks. Side of my face here, I'm just going to keep it simple. Draw up a line through here, and then I'm just going to connect through my chin. My chin is generally going to be just about half of this distance down through here. I'm going to draw in line from my mouth, connect that up for the side of my jaw. And at this angle, I don't think we'll really see this side of the jaw. I could maybe sneak just a little bit in, and I think that'll work. You need to be very, very careful, and unfortunately, unless you have a little model that you can turn in your hand, and I highly recommend that you do that, it can be very difficult to know if you can see that chin or exactly the angle that you should be cutting in here. And obviously, that's an extreme example, but to know exactly that angle, there's no mathematical formula for it, but making that exact is very, very difficult. What I'm going to do now, I know my nose is going to extend outward, and so I'm just going to draw that line. And because I'm looking at my face downward, I'm going to come down just slightly with the tip. I don't want to exaggerate that because I'm only slightly looking down. And now in my nostril, I'm just going to draw the tip of my nose. If you want more information on drawing noses, I have a video on drawing noses. I have videos on drawing mouths, eyes, and noses on my YouTube channel, and you can check out those videos. And so I know my eyes are going to be just about halfway here. That's going to be the center of my eye, but I'm going to go ahead and establish my eye sockets first. So there's one eye socket. My other eye socket is going to connect in just like this. My nose is going to connect up here. I've got that little plane there. And my mouth, I feel like I'm a little bit too far down, going halfway. And so I'm going to lift that up just a little bit. what I want to do is establish this is the center. I'm going to come out just a little bit here, and out a little bit here, and the corners of my mouth are going to be along these lines here. And because I'm looking down at the face just a little bit, the corners of my mouth are going to be slightly higher. You need to be very careful you don't end up with an expression that looks like a small smile, unless that's what you're trying for. But for a neutral expression, that's what we want. Now I'm going to go ahead and draw my eyes into my sockets. And they're lining up with my nostrils, so this eye is going to line up closer into that nostril there, which is foreshortened. And I'm going to draw a line up from my eyes here, and that's going to give me the angle that I need here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this in. I'm drawing my ear. That's going to be between my nose and brow. Let me go ahead and lighten down the top of my head, and we're going to draw an hairline. So I'm going to come down just a little bit. Also, I've got this line here. And the same way that I do with the mouth, I'm going to bring that out just a little bit. And I'm going to do the same here. And I do feel like you really wouldn't see that side of the jaw, and we're going to go ahead and just get rid of that. And that's a much more basic construction based on the overall Loomis head that really works for me. Before we move on, right?
Let me go back and see what you did there. I'm just catch up and finish up this ear. He is keeping some parts, so I can't exactly keep up 100% with him. My head is supposed to be looking down a bit, but it seems like I ended up drawing it looking straight ahead. So that is not good. I didn't like exactly get the pose that I should be getting. Of course, I could fix it, but I can't be asked. Or maybe we could sell it a bit with the nose. If I change the look of the nose, let me see. If I change the nose just a wee bit, that could probably help. That would kind of make his nose look very long. Either ways. My excuse is that there are actually people that look like this. So so at least I'm drawing someone in the world. Even though, you know. Yo. So hot, man. Whew. Anyways, yeah, the neck.
And that's a much more basic construction based on the overall Loomis head that really works for me. Before we move on, about some measurements. I personally find measurements to be a fairly limited use, and I'm going to explain to you why. So I'm going to start by drawing the forehead here. You want to be careful not to go too high with this line, because otherwise you'll end up with a very long face on your head. And so here's that line replicated again, and that line replicated again. Yeah, I think that's about just right. Maybe just a little bit longer. Because you start with this line baked in, the first line you establish is your forehead line. And if you make this too long or too short, it's going to affect the proportion of the entire rest of your face. It might take a little bit of experimentation to find this line exactly. If I go further up here, my whole face is going to be so long that I'll end up with something that looks very, very distorted. I don't know of an exact measurement to find exactly where that line is. And frankly, if there were an exact measurement, it's really not a useful thing to use, because when you start to turn the head at different angles, all of that really gets blown out the window, and it becomes much more difficult to reference exactly distances like that. It's something you do need to get a bit of a feel for. And so from here, I'm going to go ahead and draw a line across from my nose and across across from my chin and just draw lines down, just to give me a box in which I'm going to be drawing the rest of the face. I know that my jaw is not straight down from the top of my head. It comes in just a little bit like this. My ears are going to connect in between my brow and my nose. Let's just get those drawn in quickly. There they are. And my mouth is going to be just a little higher than halfway between these 2 points. So just about like this. And it's going to connect to the center of my eyes. One eye here, one eye here, and that's going to connect to my mouth. Just about like this. I don't want to connect my eye to my brow, which I just did there, and end up with a very distorted looking face. And so you can see there's starting to be a face that is beginning to appear. I'm going to go ahead and just above my nose line, from the outside of my face, I'm going to establish my cheekbones, and then bring those into my chin. My chin is going to be the same width or just a little bit more narrow than my mouth, depending on the kind of strength you want to give to your jaw. My eyes are going to measure 5 eyes across. It sounds a little confusing, but all it means is that I've got a space, an eye-wide space between my eyes here, and then let's put just a little bit wider here, my actual eyes here, and then another eye width toward the outside. And so I'm going to go ahead and draw in my eyes. And just erase this down a little bit so I don't have too much of a mess.
I'll just do this. I'll just do this like this.
The space between your eyes.
That's how I'm going to do mine. I don't feel like measuring it at the moment. And then I'll just use a thicker to just get this. Yep, I think it's still accurate. Yeah, I think it's still accurate. Maybe not, I don't know.
And at the outside to make sure that you're accurate. I'm going to go ahead and draw my brow. And to establish the outside of my brow, I'm going to draw a line at about this angle up from my eyes. And my brow's going to connect right there. Just like that. I'm going to draw a line for my whole forehead. And then from the outside of my eye, that's going to be just about where the peak of my brow sits. I'm going to draw a line back like this. The top of my nose starts at just about the top of my eyes right here. And then my nostrils are going to line up with my eyes. And I'm going to go ahead and finish my mouth just a little bit. It's obviously a very simplified face. And you'll find that a lot of times faces that you draw using really accurate measurements like this, being very careful with it, can end up looking a little bit stilted. I find that myself all the time. And they'll get more natural as you draw on your own. From this point here, I'm going to draw another line to the skyline here and attach my jawline to that, my cheeks to that. And now I'm going to draw from my mouth straight across, and that's going to give me the size of my jaw. And that's a pretty accurate head that is surprisingly easy to distort. And it's so easy to distort because when you establish
Wow, look at that. I didn't think I'd get it like really good, but I actually like the head I drew.
So if you're having problems and you're feeling like you're being accurate with these measurements and you're still having that trouble, that is the first place to look and make sure that you have that measurement set. And now from here, if you like, you go in and draw.
No, I'll raise the hairline a bit more.
And get something that is more cleaner. We're going to go ahead and do the same measurements.
Yo, I really like this. I really like this. What he's talking about is this. What the hell is it? Ay, is this stuff over here. He's talking about like the planes of the head. He's explaining it a bit differently, but he's talking about this basic and secondary planes of the head. I don't know if you guys can see that there. He's talking about these planes of the head, and it's very important to kind of learn them. Like if you're going to draw anything, really, you kind of need to understand like these planes of the head and how to break them down. You could learn it like the way it is, like how difficult this is, or you could learn it like this really simple form. But I actually suggest that you learn this and not just learn this in this angle, learn this in the side angle as well, and learn it in the three-quarter angle. There are different angles that you could learn this in, and that could be very helpful. I promise you, it's going to be very helpful. You could use the Asaro head because the Asaro head is like really nice lighting on it, so you can really detect the planes of the face and how you could really apply it. Because I did do a study about that, like Asaro head. Wherever I'm feeling bored, it's a fun exercise to do. Something like this, where you could really understand the planes of the head and how it looks. You could look at that there. The planes of the head. You can see how it is. There's the what's all I call it now, the side up view. And there's the three quarter top view as well. And then I learned like I tried to use like soft edges for it as well. And then there's a three-quarter view. So like if you learn these planes, it's going to be easy for you to look at a picture and actually draw it like easily. Like you won't have like difficulties because it's going to be kind of like one of the techniques that you'll be able to use to break down like poses and faces in different angles. So let me just put this over here like this. Of course, could do this like this, do this like this, do this like this. So you see how you just like pat out you can pat out this angles. You could do something like this and just like break it down even from this nose area and just break things down easily like this. It's actually an angle like that. So when you actually look at the Loomis planes of the face, you're going to see something akin to this. You could even see something like this. I don't really remember. Anyways, let's proceed.
So I'm going to start with my sphere. And that's as accurate as it needs to be.
I swear, I love the way I draw spheres, especially with this brush. By the way, this is part of the Jinx Sketch Basics. You can check it out. It's a very nice brush for like not shading, for like sketching. You really enjoy sketching with this brush. Anyways, let's put this in a different location. Let's take it up here. So you're able to just easily create a really nice sphere with this and just draw.
I'm going to draw a line
And very
through the
quickly
center,
as well.
vertically and horizontally. And that's going to give me center of my head just right here. We won't see this line down the center of the face because it's directly on the side. But now what I'm going to go ahead and do is just draw a flat line here, a flat line down from here. You don't need to do any of this when you're actually drawing your heads, but just to get this really established in terms of proportions. And so from here, I'm going to establish my forehead. That's going to be just about here. And I'm going to take that distance. I'm going to measure it out again, and that's going to be my face. So I'm going to draw a line back from my nose, a line back from my chin. I'm going to just go ahead and establish a line from my mouth. I'm going to go just a little bit higher, right about here, and that automatically now is going to give me my jaw from behind. So I can just get that right out of the way, just like that. My nose obviously needs to jut out, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I know I've got a plane coming out like this, and that's going to connect to my brow just like this. And I can draw a line straight down here, but obviously that's not accurate what I need to do.
What I do for the side view that I've learned is that apart from this first division that is going here, I also do another division between there's another half between this area and this area, and that's going to be for the mask of the face. And that is a mistake people usually make. They like if you're trying to draw like realistically and like actually understand how the proportions of like the side view how it looks so that I can properly get like the eyes proportion, the nose proportions and things like that. That is one tip that has helped me because this gap at the skull is actually larger and most people underestimate how how much um space the skull on the side view has because most people forget that the neck actually has a lot of muscles on it, and so we have to actually draw that. And most people just they just skip that, but really they shouldn't. So once we've divided this into two, we also have to divide this into two, because that's how we're going to place the mask of the face. We're going to be able to see like the cheekbones and things like that. And yeah, something like that. I think let's continue.
Remember what I have here. I'm going to go ahead and start just a little bit back and draw that shape just like this. We're looking at it directly from the side. I'm going to come in here. My mouth is going to connect here. And my eye is going to start right here. Not a full eye width,
I don't think he's going to be happy with
back
this
to my
mouth.
nose, but 3/4 of an eye width I think is a good distance. Everybody's face varies, but for generic attractive face, that's a good distance. I'm going to straighten up my forehead just a little bit. And now through all this, I haven't established my actual cheek line. So let's go ahead and do that. Draw a line up from here. I'll give you this. I had this point at the outside of the eyes, and you can see obviously that's not going to be the case here. So it's going to be much more if you draw a line straight down here. I'm going to draw my ear in here. And I'm going to go ahead and adjust my mouth, which I feel like even though
Exactly, I said it.
just a little higher, it's not quite high enough. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that, make that just a little bit higher. And draw a line down from here and connect my cheek just like this. Before we move on,
Come on, man. Yeah, I'm not done. And let me get mine. Let me get mine. Come on now. All right. Looking good so far. Did I make it too much?
Before we move on with the rest of the video, I wanted to take a minute to talk about our sponsor, Comics on Coffee. Comics on Coffee is a family-owned coffee company right up my alley. I'm the basics in perspective. It's going to be something like this. And if I was to draw a center line, it would be through here. My side center line would be here. And then I've got one more center line here. And you can see how this correlates pretty closely to what we were doing with the sphere. I'm going to draw this again. I'm just going to start with a sphere, which at all times, and it makes it very easy to use, is never an oval. It's never different. No matter what angle I draw, it's always going to be a sphere. Where I start to add my character to it, I'm going to draw this angle first because I really want to establish the direction my character is looking at. I'm imagining they're looking this way here. And so now I'm going to draw a line through like this. And then I've got another line through here. I'm just going to flatten that off just like this. My forehead's going to be about here. My face at that angle is going to be like this. So here's another line, and I can go ahead and line this down again and establish my cheek here. On the other side, we're very flat here, so I'm going to be just about like this. And that's going to give me the side of my head. I've gone very flat here. So let me just correct for that. My nose is going to connect up from here, so there it is. My mouth is going to be just about here. You won't really see the other side of the mouth at all. I don't want to go too wide with it either. I'm just a little bit too wide there. I'm going to come in here, and then my jawline is going to connect right up through here. I'm going to draw in my eye sockets, and then my eyes are just going to sit within those sockets. Really won't see much of the other eye at all. sphere, and this hand is going to
Yo,
be
let me get that. I might have to adjust my hairline again because I didn't put my head down enough. So yeah, going to have to pay for that. You know, I never really practiced this plane that he talks about. He always does these two planes across the side of the head, where one you can see extends to through the eyebrow, like all the way down to the eye, to the where the eye is, and the other one ends up like where the eyebrow actually ends up. Um, I don't think I've properly looked at those planes before. I remember when you're doing this study, at least whenever you're doing any study, in my own opinion, I think, like, of course, try to get what the artist is doing, or like the book that you're studying from. Try to get it as close to it as possible, but like don't beat yourself up every single time that you don't like the work that you draw doesn't look exactly like what the artist or the artist of the book that you're studying looks like. Just be patient with yourself. I've done these studies a couple of times, and every single time I learn something new. And that's the fun thing about art. The more you do it, the more you look at instructional material. You always learn a new way to approach something, and that new way at which you approach something can be very helpful and useful for when you are, tackling something different or something unique or a different angle that usually gives you trouble. You can always like figure something out. At least for me, that is what I that's that's how things work out for me. So that's why I don't like sleep on like actually practicing things that would actually help me. So I'm just going to put down this ear down here like this. I know how to draw an ear. I'm not going to detail that. Well, you could argue I know how to draw a face. So what's the purpose of drawing an entire face? So I'm just going to actually just take my time and just put this here. I mean, not yeah. I try, but I not try. I try now.
I'm going to draw another sphere, and this hand is going to be directly from Loomis. And we're going to start to do some Loomis studies from different angles. And so he's got his angle just about here, and this is going to be my brow line. And so let me draw that along my sphere.
Let me do some.
That's going to be the angle that I'm looking for the front of my face, just like this. This is my brow line. So I'm going to draw my forehead line just about here. My nose will be here, and my jaw will be here. I'm going to go ahead and flatten this here. And so that's going to place my ear just about here. And so I'm going to draw the line from the bridge of my nose here, bottom of my nose. I'm going to connect that through here. And it makes it very easy to get my nose established properly at the right angle. Just doing that, following the same basic path. I'm angling just a little bit because it's narrower at the front.
You could also use like a box to actually get a lot of these angles. A sphere is not bad, but you could also use like a box to get these angles and really break stuff down. So something like this, you could use a box like this. Like your face could be facing here in this direction, so you could actually do something like this. And this is your mouth, or your face could be facing this direction, so you could do something like this. This is your nose, and this is your mouth. Or your face could actually be facing this direction. Yeah, your face could be, really down like this. So this is your eyes. This is your nose. Your nose is going to take a different shape like this. Different shape like this. This is your eyes. This is your nose. This is your mouth. Yeah, different angles. Yeah, or this could be like the side of your head, and then maybe your nose could be peeking out like this. This could be your nose, something like this, and then this could be your mouth, and this could be like the side of your skull. Although, based on proportions, that would be wrong. So, a box could get it could help you get like different angles of the face. It just depends on like your understanding of the proportions and perspective, and that is why understanding the proportions can help you out. And like doing studies like this can be really useful. Hello, Shaki, how you doing? Welcome to the stream, bro. How's your how's your night going? How's the weather today, by the way? All right, so we have our brow line. I'm going to put that down there like that. We have our nose line. Should be around here and here as well. And then we have our mouth line, which is going to be in the middle between our nose and our jawline. I'm making a mess. I'm making a mess of this. Perspective is a wonderful thing. Very tired, but doing good. You? I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing a study. The weather is all right. Well, it's quite hot, but it's still good. I prefer it hot than freezing cold. Um, the weather is all right, so I'm doing wonderful. And I'm drawing. Yeah, my favorite thing in the world to do, apart from watching movies and eating at the same time. All right, so I'm just applying the thing I just learned with regards to like placing the eyebrows because the eye is going to sort of end here, I think. So going to place the eyes over here like this, and to have our keystone area be here. Remember, the keystone area doesn't go all the way down. Nope. The keystone area, like the gap between the end of the like socket line and the middle, like it's sort of like in between. It rained a bit today. Wasn't too warm, but wasn't cold. So yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That middling weather, the weather temperature. I had some beans today, by the way. I had some beans. Ate some beans and some stew, and I passed out. Like when did I eat that food? I ate it around. I think that was the first meal of the day I had. I had it around like 4 or 5, and I passed out completely. And I woke up around like 8, like 2 minutes to 8 o'clock. So I'm very refreshed. Although I do want to have a shower this night because no matter how many times you take a bath in a day, apparently the weather is just still hot. Okay, I think we've caught up.
My eye socket here and here. And so let me go ahead and draw my eyes in there.
Hopefully, I don't make his ear too small.
And the example I'm looking at, Loomis is actually angling his forehead back along the sphere. I don't like to do that. And so I'm bringing mine out just a little bit further here, just to flatten it and give it a bit more of a straight forehead. These are all choices. And now for my mouth, I want to come out just a little bit in here at the bottom, and then out from my jaw, which has this shape here. There's the center, here's the top of my mouth here, the top lip, bottom lip.
I think we're taking a huge L with this one. Apparently, the measurements I did are not making sense. It seems I extended the line for the jaw too much. Let's see. Let's move. Regardless, just to take note of the eyes, though. It's going to end over here because the center of the eye is over in this direction. The reason usually why you see the lips or the mouth poke out a bit more, especially the upper lip, is because when you're looking at, well, a conventionally attractive mouth, is it conventionally attractive? Because of course there are ugly people who have mouths that are poking out a bit um, more. But still, usually, attractive people, their mouth just protrudes out a little bit. Of course, I'm not saying you couldn't find an attractive person whose lips are inwards, the upper lip are inwards, and then the outer lip are like probably like this. I'm just saying, usually, what you see, especially from artists, is something like this. So, and because of that, like when the mouth twists or turns, you're going to see it's like overlapping the smaller, the lower lip, like this. Indirectly, we sort of did the mouth correct. Anyways, when do you sleep? I swear you're streaming whenever I'm about to fall asleep. I promise you, I sleep a lot. In fact, I actually sleep too much. I sleep too much. I sleep at, well, to be fair, I do sleep like very early in the morning, at around like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock a.m. Actually, that's when I should be waking up, but it's not a good habit. My circadian rhythm is always messed up. Um, but I do sleep. I sleep a lot. In fact, I sleep too much. Have I gone and committed a blunder over there? No, it ended up working out well in the end. Let it all work out. Let it all work out. Yes, it is. It's actually a terrible schedule. I need to sort it out like immediately. It's a very terrible schedule. Like most times I wake up around like 11 a.m. in the morning, like between 10 and 11 a.m. Most times when I stretch it out, like I end up waking up at around like 12. But technically during that time I was working, so I kind of have. It's not like I was just like doing nothing. I kind of was working, but it's not a good schedule because I actually do enjoy, the I do enjoy like the daytime. I do enjoy seeing the daytime. I like seeing the sun come up. But I'm just not disciplined enough to let it happen. Mhm. Let it all work out. Let it all. Look at that Joe, man. Whew, I'm jealous. Let it all work out. Let it all work out. Let it all work out. And it's funny because our timing is actually like the same. Uh, just like I think an hour most times and a few minutes most days, depending on the weather or like Earth's rotation or whatever. So anytime the fact that anytime you're about to go to bed, that I'm always streaming at that time. Mm. I should be doing like the streaming stuff like earlier in the daytime. That I tried doing it around like 12, but sometimes I'm just not disciplined enough. I've not just like gotten it in my body. Like because this streaming stuff, it started in phases, right? The first phase was like actually getting to stream. So and that was a difficult like building that habit was difficult. Yeah. So like whenever you're trying to do something new, like your brain fights it because your brain doesn't want to try something risky or something new. So that's the first thing I had to do. So the second thing I had to do was like stream consistently, right? And that was difficult because your brain will fight it, your brain will create excuses and things like that. um like so like streaming, then streaming consistently every day, at least once a day, and then the next thing I tried to do was like streaming twice a day. And that's currently the stage I'm at where my brain is fighting it. So like hopefully eventually I succeed with like streaming every day. And so then the next stage would be to like get a consistent schedule going. um I think that would be the next stage after this because my schedule is messed up and I'm prioritizing like streaming. I've never done it before, so I'm still figuring it out. I'm learning something new every day. Yeah, it's 10:56. Yeah, it's 10:58 over here at the moment. 10:58. Yeah, beds are just comfier when you should be up. Yeah, they are. They are extremely. Hello, Art God. How you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. How's your comic book going? How's your comic going? Don't walk out. Yeah, that's good. And the thing that like usually whenever I draw heads in these angles or like I try to do something like this is I always a lot of the time I'm always never satisfied with the distance between my ears and my eyes, or like this gap over here like this. Like I'm always never satisfied with that gap. But of recent I've been a lot more satisfied with it because I've been getting it wrong. And the thing is that as an artist or like a creative, you should trust your instincts. Whenever you feel like something is wrong with a drawing or you're not satisfied with it, figure out like why you're not satisfied with it, like the problem behind it, and just try to fix it because usually, more often than not, uh, you are, and especially because you have taste as an artist and you've seen something that actually looks good and you know what it feels like and you know how you feel like looking at that stuff, and then you know when something looks or feels mediocre. So the thing also I would say like about that is that you should also know when to like show restraint and not like overcorrect. A lot of the time there are times to like do it and there are times to just like let things be, right, and just acknowledge that yeah, I'm not going to touch this again, but I understand that I didn't do enough. Stressful. My latest page was 8 fucking panels, and my next page is 6 panels with a dynamic foreshortened pose in a small box. Yeesh. Damn. Sorry about that. Good luck to you, my brother. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. But it's good that you're challenging yourself. It's very good. Very important. How you doing, green stick figure? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. I think this is the second time I'm seeing you in the stream. I appreciate you commenting. I really appreciate it. Thank you for saying hi. I'm going to leave this like this.
But we're going to be looking down at this head and it's going to be tilting toward us. But our sphere stays the same. I know I want my brow line to be just about here. And so the top angle is going to be here. Make sure that rounds around my sphere properly. And then my ear line is going to be just about like this. Instead of fighting with your drawing and really trying to make every line accurate, you're much better off to just draw lightly and then just erase the way that I missed it. And so I've got my forehead just about here, and I want to angle my face straight downward like this. And so here's my brow, my nose, and my jaw, my chin. I'm going to cut the side, flatten that off, make sure that, let's get that just a little bit bigger. I'm going to just connect this in very, very quickly and get that angle right. You can see I went too shallow with that angle. You just contradicted side of my chin is going to be just right here. I'm going to draw a line all the way down, line across from my nose, connect that up. My ear is going to be in here. We'll clean this up in a second.
Yeah, but it also backfired on my hand. I've been trying since morning to get the poses on a big A4 paper sketchbook in order to get the feeling. Yeah, one thing you can try, I don't know if you do this already, is that like this could be like your page that you're working on, that you're going to establish all your panels on, right? This could be your page where you put all the panels, panel one, panel two, panel three, panel four, panel five, panel six. Yeah. And then what you could do is that you could always do like experimentation panels where you just have like a notebook or something where you sketch out ideas. So you say, okay, this panel is going to be like this. Like you have like a storyboard panel, right? Where you just like use like stick figures and try to draw things out and like try to see or scribble ideas or how like each panel will be before you actually sketch it out over here in the panels. At least for me, that's what I do digitally sometimes. So you could just try that out and it's going to be a lot more so that you don't commit immediately to the panel that you're working on. You just get an extra plain sheet that you work on and just like scribble stuff and sketch, plan out the panel or the page in its entirety and see how it works, and then try out different iterations, different composition, different poses on this on this rough sheet, and then you transfer it over to this panel over here. You can try that out. Who is this David Finch, Jason Farbach? I learned all these names from you. Also, I downloaded the book you recommended. You didn't tell me it was written by Stanley. Oh yeah, it was written by Stanley and one other guy. I've forgotten his name. John Buscema, I think that's his name. Um, yeah, they are both comic book artists, David Fincher and Jason Farbach. They are both comic book artists. They worked at DC. I think Jason Farbach is currently working on his own thing. The name is Rook. It's a comic book called Rook. He's working on it with someone else. I've forgotten the artist's name, the writer's name, to be fair. But Jason Farbach and David Finch are like one of my favorite comic book artists. I like how clean and they use is it Chira Posto? It's an Italian word, Chira Posto, something like that. They use it very well in their work whenever they are working and illustrating things. It's actually very cool. All right, we have our nose over here. I think it should be downer like this, and then this will be our mouth. Hopefully, of course, the lines, whenever you're drawing the lines, try not to commit too much.
And my mouth is put here. Draw that line up. That's going to give me the line for my jaw.
When I enter university, I plan on getting a digital tablet because drawing traditional is very wicked for mistakes. Yes, but it's actually very fun as well. I actually also got my tablet just while I was entering university. I had saved up for like months, years before I was able to um, save up and get a new one. Uh, yeah. You enjoy tablet, you enjoy digital arts, but it might take a bit of time. Like you won't get the feel that you were working on traditionally. But I still enjoy traditional arts. It's just all my works are digital, all my files are digital, so I hardly go back to traditional art to draw, especially since I don't get commissions traditionally with traditional work. So I mostly work digitally.
Just like this. And that gives me my basic head pretty well established. From here, I'm going to go ahead and start with really the keystone of the face in a lot of ways. This shape between the eyes connect to my nose. My nose is going to project outward from this line here. Brow. Because I'm looking down at it, my eyes are going to be pushed up quite a bit higher. Probably really should establish my eye sockets. Makes it much easier to draw the eyes in. I'm going to draw a line up from here and from here. We really won't see that line at all because of the angle, but it makes it nice and easy for me to establish my cheek line right there. get my ears looking a little bit better. I'm going to draw a line. And now I'm going to go ahead at the center of my mouth. You just about here. Because we're looking up at the mouth, it's going to round around the face just a bit. You need to be very careful with this because, again, it can look like a smile, which is fine if that's what you're looking for. But you don't want every face that you draw looking down at a face to look like it's smile. And I feel like I've got that effect going on just a little bit. So try and keep that as minimal as possible. Draw my jaw.
Not a mistake. Let's fix that. It shouldn't be like that.
And now for me to establish my hairline, I'm going to do just a little bit over here. Bring it up through here to this point. And to that point.
That's a really good looking head that he drew. It's a really nice looking head. So when last have you heard of Irene? I think yesterday probably. She just stops by once in a while, not as often as she used to. Just once in a while. People have lives, once in a while, and just sticks around for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then goes about her day. I'm actually happy with this. Well, am I? Are you happy with it? Are you? Are you happy with it? I don't think I am, because I'm doing this thing where I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm just using different shapes, trying to commit, but not to commit at the same time. I know how it should look. I know how it should look. I'm just trying not to mess it up. Um, because unless you're drawing stylistically, the eyes are usually people usually draw the eyes bigger than it should be. Anyways, I fixed that. What else? The ears. The ears are far back, very far back. You could use this and then use this to position the ears. I'm about to leave. Sorry. I hope I hope you don't feel lonely. And I'm happy with what's uh, anything I can't do. Hmm? I appreciate the company, Art God. I really appreciate you dropping by whenever you can. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day and good luck on your comic book page, man. Good luck on your comic book page. Um, hmm. All right, the hairline is going to be around here. So I need to sort that out. Why am I wasting time with this? Jesus, man, John. Cheekbone, mouth, um, jawline. Let's put the hair over here like this. You can see how boxy the head looks. Anyways, that's mine. Yeah, look at that K-pop jawline. K-pop, what do they call them? Artist jawline. Yep.
So that's the basic rundown of my understanding of Loomis head. There's quite a bit more information.
Oh, yo, the video is done. Crazy. Yo, it's actually fun. Yeah, K-pop idol, exactly. K-pop, K-pop idol. They usually have extremely hollow cheeks. K-pop idol. Those guys fast a lot more than Jesus.
Or take a good hit, but you have to bear in mind that the only way to really learn it is to draw multiple heads from multiple different angles and keep working it and massaging on the problems that you will inevitably run into. You have to be patient with yourself and just understand that drawing all the features and making them multiple heads
There's a
is
head he
part of
drew that
yourself.
I didn't see. He didn't draw this one like live. So I'm going to try and draw it and see what's up. It's kind of similar to this angle that I was talking about when I was talking about like a simple way to draw the head. I think that would just be the last thing I draw. Wow, it's been an hour and 11 minutes. Let's just try and complete this one really fast. I thought I would waste a lot more time with it. So based on what we've learned so far, we're going to put our center line over here like this. We're going to put this line over here like this since he's facing in this direction. And then we're going to chop it. We're going to chop it like this. What's the difference between the Loomis head and the Asaro head? The Loomis head teaches you the structure of how to break it down. Loomis head teaches you this is the Loomis head technique. The Loomis is a person. The Loomis guy is a person. He was an art instructor and a magazine artist, according to what David Finch just said. And this is his technique. His process of breaking it down using a sphere, kind of like a globe, and the front view, side view, three-quarter view, and understanding like breaking the face down into planes so that it can be easier to draw a face that is proportional. That is the Loomis method. The Asaro head is sort of like I don't know anything in depthly about the Asaro head because what I used the Asaro head to do in my learning journey was I used it to understand planes of the face when I was drawing. So I used it for exercises. So I used it for something like this, where you just be able to understand like the planes. You can see how quite similar it is to the Loomis method in terms of like the planes of the head. I would recommend you get the Loomis book if you haven't. Like you can see this is the front view Loomis method. This is the front view Loomis method, and you can see how I don't know why I put the smile. I actually put the smile because I was feeling myself a bit. But you actually understand, like you can see how there are planes over here at the face, and there are planes over here at the face as well. The planes are quite similar, but not exactly similar. Uh, but what both of them do is that they help you with face, like how a face should look, and like is the word geometrically, but if you study both of them, which I recommend you do, you'll be able to paint a face like this because this is the basic structure. This is how things are broken down, and it's kind of like easier for your brain. You know how like if you're working 3D and you're breaking down, you're making things look like you're working in like low poly rendering. You see that the low poly rendering always renders faster than the high poly rendering, and that the reason is because it's much easier for the computer's brain to process the low poly than the high poly rendering, which is this guy over here. So our brains, it's easier for our brains to process this and interpret it to like real faces when we see it, for that for our brains to just process this like whenever we see drawings like this. So I hope that explained it, but you can do your own research by yourself to figure it out. But that is my own understanding of it. I used to be scared of angles like this. In fact, I think I still am because I haven't been able to draw it like from memory directly. Um, yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome, Prince. Thank you for asking. Anyways, brow line, nose line, nose line is going to be like this, especially because of the angle, nose line. And then the mouth line is going to, the jawline is going to be over here like this. I'm going to use this as the jawline. This guy over here. So I'm going to put this over here like this, and this guy over here like this, and this guy over here like this. Underscore. This guy over here like this. All right, and we have that, and then our ears are going to be over here. This is the brow line to the nose line, and then we're going to have our brow line over here like that, and then we're going to be able to put this over here like this, put this over here like this, and bring the face out, then bring this down here, and we'll have our jawline, and then we are having our face is coming out, and then brow line over here, then keystone keystone area, it's going to be like this, and then things are going to pop out because this is our nose line. So our nose, we're going to raise our nose up like this, bring it down, and then do this like this, and then bring this down over here like this, and this will connect in our eyes. And then we're going to bring this guy over here downward like this, and then we're going to bring this guy over here like this. And then this guy over here is going to come like this. That's one plane of the head. At least that's the plane I learned today. And then our brow line. And then our head, our hairline is going to be over here like this, kind of. I think. Am I right? Like this. I'm going to push here like this. I'm going to come down, and then like this, and over here like this. And yep, I think we have our hair. I could put this as the hair, and we have a head. All right, the mouth is going to be in this area, and then it's going to come down like this. Right, so we put this guy over here like this, and this guy over here just a little bit, like that. And then we have the mouth go like this. Of course, if you want, you can put this triangle gap that's usually on the nose. It's something technical I want to do, but I can't remember it. Oh yeah, I remember it now. That's the nose. Proportional, not perfect, but good. Yep, we have drawn the face. Yeah, I'm proud of myself for that. Didn't need David Finch for that one. I'm happy about that. Yeah. 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 P Q P Q P ski. All right.
There's quite a bit more information that you can find, and you can go far more technical with this, but you have to bear in mind.
All right, I think the video is ended. I'm really happy with the exercise. The exercise was fun, challenging, but fun. And you need to practice exercises like this over and over again for you to get better at art. So that's it for the video, guys. Thank you all for joining me in this exercise. This was fun, man. This was fun. I really enjoyed this. I'm going to do another one tomorrow. Well, technically today. Well, in a few hours, it will be tomorrow. So thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate every single person that liked the video and commented. Thank you, Prince. Thank you, Artcore. Thank you, Sharky. Thank you, Green Stick Figure. Thank you, Lovely, for joining. Thank you, Niman, for joining. Thank you, Sophia, for saying hi. Thank you, Mags, for saying hi. I appreciate it. I thank every single person that just tuned in for a minute or so and left. I appreciate every single person. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I should have done 2 streams today, but like, yeah, I'm just going to, well. Anyways, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice day. Thank you for joining. Please like and subscribe if you haven't.